All right, Dominic, we're back for another episode of Dom's Desk, and thanks again for taking the time to do this, Dom. I know how busy you are and how crazy, Invest Plus is, as well as all the other things Dominic has going on. Listen, the theme for today that I want to talk about is what I'm going to call operational excellence and exits. So, and what that means is right now, a lot of people have a story in their mind that it's not a great time to exit real estate. And I think we're actually, if you have been focusing on operational excellence, and right now is a great time to be doing operational excellence and really be in your business, managing your business really well, whether you're an individual property owner, individual investor, or whether or not you're investing through REITs, for example, now's the time to be in your operational excellence. Now could be a great time to exit because, Dom, there's very few properties trading hands, and that crunch of supply still exists. And as a result, some properties, if they've been managed properly, are going for premiums. They're going for above market value because of that operational excellence. What do you say to that, Dom?
Well, there's a couple of loaded questions there. Number one is, is it a good time to sell? And given, where interest rates have been in past years, this past year, one would say it's probably not the best time. But I would also, I would also counter that with depending on where you are in your business goals and where you are in terms of the goal of your property. So for us, we're also in the middle of exiting some of our properties because it was a good time to sell and still is. We have properties that have great assumable debt with great rates compared to where they are today. So that is an asset to a lot of buyers, right? So, and we did that on purpose, that if we weren't ever in a position where interest rates would go up, and we wanted to make sure that that debt was assumable, and so that the next buyer can buy it and not have to get, debt at today's high rates. So a lot of those people that are out there probably have 1 or 2 year mortgages. Good chance that it's assumable. That is an asset. And if you're thinking that, hey, it would now be the good time to sell, absolutely, put it out there. We just sold a property. It closes in a few weeks from now. We got more than we thought we'd get. And a big part of that was because of our debt and also the timing of selling the property.
I think that's interesting what you just said there, Dom, about debt being an asset. Most people they have a hard time wrapping their mind around how debt is an asset, but especially when interest rates are doing what they're doing now, having a good solid terms on a mortgage that you can sell along with the property and it be assumable, that's a massive asset. I would say, in fact, that commands a huge premium nowadays. Are you seeing that in the market?
Yeah, 100%. We were exiting out of multifamily in our portfolio because we felt there was a big niche in industrial, and we started that process about 6 years ago. And one of the challenges we had is buyers who wanted to buy the building wanted to get long-term financing. CMHC is probably the preference of a lot of multifamily buyers. And CMHC timelines can be anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, which is a very, very long period of time. So we decided we'd do that first ourselves and then turn around and sell the property with the debt in place already. Fortunate for us, we were right around the time when we decided, or when we locked in our rates, was right around the time where the WHO declared the pandemic and interest rates dropped. So we had interest rates, we had about $6 million worth of debt at 1.62%. And so we were selling one of the multifamilies that closes in January of next year. A big reason for us selling that property is because it's got that debt at 1.62%. And what are rates today, right? Around 4.5%. So that debt is going to carry on for another 3 years. And so that buyer has no concern of having to do that until 3 years from now, right? Where, lots of analysts are talking about maybe rates will go the other way by the end of next year and possibly the year after that. But until then, this owner, this new buyer will take advantage of rental increases with a low mortgage rate, and that's going to be very profitable for them as well.
No kidding. No kidding. Now, that's interesting how debt becomes an asset. The point here is that there's assets within this real estate business that a lot of people don't, kind of from the outside in, they don't realize there are these assets that are kind of hidden. And I think one of the ones that you and I often talk about is what I call this operational excellence, which is, being able to manage this real estate really, really well is a major asset. It's not everyone, Dominic, who can do it right. It's not everyone who can be great managers. I mean, it really takes a skill set and built a great company to be able to manage this volume of real estate and to do it well. But that is an asset. And are you seeing that right now? Because I'm seeing a lot of people in chaos that don't know how to manage their real estate. And I'm not talking about just mom and pop investors. I'm talking about bigger companies that are not quite sure how to handle this marketplace, whereas operational excellence like Invest Plus doing much, much better.
It's every recession or every uncertain markets. I think to myself, okay, this will probably be in my career, the fourth or fifth. And I thought, I've been here before. I know how to handle it. And yet every recession is different. It's different. It's a new set of problems. And now we've got to decide, okay, how are these problems going to be handled? How do I take advantage of this market? But the reality is for some of us, and, I'll put me included, especially, mid-year, thinking to myself, where interest rates are high, sellers' expectation to sell haven't been adjusted yet because of the new interest rate environment. And so, there are not as many deals as there are before. But we take that opportunity to start to look inwards and focus on our own business, because while you're growing and you're acquiring buildings over and over and over, like a lot of us, when it's time to grow, you focus on bringing in hey, what about this? And what about our standard procedures? Forget about that. We're growing, we're moving forward. And so, one of the good things about an uncertain market is a good time to reflect and look at your business, saying what's working, what's not working, what can I fix? What are our SOPs like? What could we standardize within our business system so that, when the next wave comes for us to start growing, we're ready. And so that's what we've been focusing on. We've discovered a lot of inefficiencies within our systems. That's helped us improve, and we found some actual creative ways on how to even still generate income, which is also growth in your business. It's not just buying buildings, it's growing within your portfolio too. And we've done that too. So even in these uncertain markets, it's a good opportunity to look inwards and say, hey, where else can we grow the business without having to buy new property, right?
You said a key word there, Dominic. I want to end on this. You said the word creativity, and I find that interesting because that is that creativity is an asset as well. How have you seen that play out in your career, as well as you being the CEO of Invest Plus and everything else that you do? How important is creativity to that success?
It's not only important, it's critical. It's very critical. And I've kind of used this model within our company that no matter what your role is within the company and even outside the company, just ask your partner, your wife, maybe even your kids, right? You have a problem, saying, here's what we're thinking about doing. I'm thinking about this, taking the company this direction, or we're thinking about doing this. And it's amazing where the different perspectives come in. And it may be the most ridiculous idea coming from your office manager, for instance, but it may spark a conversation around, wait a second, I didn't think of it that way, but what if we did it this way? And I couldn't tell you how many examples we've had where that conversation, brainstorming, has come out and we come away going, now we have a whole set of new ways of looking at some of the problems that we have, creative ways that we can deal with those problems. So for us, that's how we get around, sometimes, because we don't have all the answers. We're in the business so much that sometimes we forget to kind of see give the 30,000 foot view. So having someone that's not in the business as much as you are, I think is also creative to that, is very critical to that creative process as well. So yeah, absolutely.
That's a really great point. And I echo all of that, because creativity truly is important, and especially at a time like this. where there's no shortage of problems, there's no shortages of challenges, but that creativity is what gets you on the other side of them. So that's great. Dom, thanks for another great episode of Dom's Desk. Really appreciate your time and you taking the time to spend a little time with us about kind of your success and what it means for you and how you get it all done. It's been an incredible run. So thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, GG. Have a great holiday.